What's up, y'all? It's your boy Niner Faithful. Oh wow, we're actually a minute early. I'm actually proud of myself. I'm a minute early. I actually thought I was gonna be late. Anyway, we're of course gonna get into quarterback. I'm not gonna necessarily say the Niners should target in the draft, but you know, one that has me intrigued. I don't know Jason's thought about his, but we'll obviously learn that. Niners side to tight end, tight end two. And of course, I want to get a little bit of a discussion about why. Why is it that literally the only quarterbacks that are on the teams that drafted him from 2021 on, except obviously the newest class, aren't on the teams that drafted him anymore, except literally the first pick and the last pick. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I found the quarterback that I'm intrigued by last second. So I was ready to come on here and be like, dude, this class is garbage. But the quarterbacks the Niners have a chance of getting. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get into that. But before we got started, we have some bills we got to pay. Today's episode is sponsored by Power Brand Systems. Need help getting new customers for your business? Let Power Brand Systems help you grow with their powerful tools. Visit powerbrandsystems.com/Niner Faithful Radio for more info. For the Faithful, by the Faithful, off-season sale is happening now. Save 20% on all For the Faithful, by the Faithful season 1 through 3 gear now through June 30th. Go ahead and visit NinerFaithfulRadio.com/shop to save. Follow us on social media at Niner Faithful Radio on Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr, and TikTok, and at Niner Faithful R on X. If you like our content and would like to support the show, consider leaving us a tip in our tip jar at NinerFaithfulRadio.us/tip jar. Join our exclusive membership community where you get exclusive NFR content not available anywhere else. Join our exclusive chat, 20% off of all non-sale For the Faithful, by the Faithful gear, and much more. Visit portal.ninerfaithfulradio.us/login to join. Join us Friday for our NFR weekly review at 6 p.m. here on the West Coast. End your week with some drinks and laughs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, faithful of all ages, let's get the show cracking.
Weiss has just set a Super Bowl record with 12 catches. He's in motion. Montana, touchdown, John Taylor.
Niner Faithful Radio, the show hosted for the faithful, by the faithful, brought to you by Power Brand Systems.
Okay, I want to say to my defense right now, I thought I shared the show on Facebook and didn't, so I had to go back and share it. So that's technically why I'm not done with everything before the show started, but I would have been. I actually got kind of arrogant too. I was like, "Oh, I was almost done before I hit the intro, bro." What's cracking, Jason?
Hello, for my brother. How's it going?
Legendary, bro. Legendary. I'm not gonna finish the rest because it's not. But yeah, I know your boy's gonna start work next week. So
Congrats.
yeah. I already told him Ixnay on Friday, so we're good. We're good there. So or at least told him, 4:00, 5:00. So I should be, back before all that. Anyway, but yeah, so got that cracking. I'm excited because this is our last show before we get into our deep dive on essentially what I feel. Let's be real. Friday, we got D tackles coming up. That's where we believe the Niners probably will go. If history is an indication.
First round.
First round. Haven't had a pick in 2 years. First round. D lineman.
How much of a meltdown do you imagine that'll be?
Oh, it's going to be it's gonna be chaos. It's gonna be people are gonna be so pissed. It's and I watched one of the things I did in preparation of today's show is I watched a show with Graham and Larry Kruger, kind of going over the Niners draft and everything like that, and got some. I figured when we do guards, I put guards for next Tuesday, but it'll be guard centers, interior kind of thing. But I got somebody that I'm intrigued because if Larry Kruger pounds the table for somebody, I at least think it deserves some little bit of a deep dive into what I think. Personally, just grew up listening to the man on KMBR. So I've been listening to Larry.
And he's pounded the table for some people. I'm just like,
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. So when I was doing a little bit of scouting for my quarterback, there's this channel I've been going to a lot because it's quick. It's a little. I think it's like 3, 4, 5 minutes. So it's real good to get in before the show or something like that. And he does a little bit pros, cons, and then he'll show you a little bit of highlights. So it's kind of everything all in one, kind of situation. And it was funny. Just some of the things I started picking out, and I was like, this guy seems a little. I'm not exactly seeing everything that he's saying. Let's say that. But yeah, I mean, I think sometimes also when you get to Larry specifically, I mean, let's be real, the man was on KMBR for 20, 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Larry, but some of the stuff I'm just like, where do you see that, man?
So a lot of this is, let's be real, how many people, once he got laid off at KMBR, how many people do you think and decided to start his own YouTube channel? How many people do you think subscribed, liked it? You know what I'm saying? Just off the simple fact it's Larry Kruger. I want to say this is I have the utmost respect for Larry. Like I said, I've been listening to Larry since the phone KMBR phone 680 phone, their little phone night show. I've been listening to Larry. So him on the Niner pregame is kind of when I started. I used to listen when it was Lamont and Tonelli, but when he started doing the pregame, that's kind of when I started to get into the. And you know what, bro? Maybe I want to kind of do this for a living. Like, hey, this seems kind of dope. Anyway, Niners signed. Let me go ahead and pull it up. I thought I had it. Tight end. Let me see. Right here. Tight end, journeyman tight end. Eric Sobert. I don't know how to Schubert. He came from the 2017 draft, 5th round pick also. The video I watched by Lombardi said that he had 15 catches 2 years ago for the Broncos, which is more than Charlie Warner had his whole career. I don't think this excludes us from drafting a tight end.
Yeah.
He has like 1,100 snaps on special teams. So what I think the Niners' attitude is clearly the priorities, I think, in free agency, clearly retooled the D-line, right? I think that was clear. Get a Dre Greenlaw insurance policy, and fix special teams. And I think that the attitude of this is cool. Let's see what he can give us, from offense on scrimmage and everything like that. But at worst comes to worst, we improved our special teams, which you and I have said on the show did not cost us the Super Bowl, but definitely was a turning point in the Super Bowl. Which fires me up because that's clearly what I think Lynch and Hand's greatest strength is addressing. They see the weaknesses of the team the same we do, generally speaking. They may have different approaches on how they address it, i.e., damn well we're going to wait till the 4th or 5th round to pick up a guard. But they at least,
which isn't bad. This is a deep, a good draft for that position.
Shaw, good to see you, bruh. I caught a little bit of Monday show. I like the show y'all doing on Mondays.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. I'd like to I'm looking forward to getting them on. We'll work out on that just soon as far as first, second, whatever round. I actually had a question, and I know this makes me seem retarded. Let's be real. I mostly just update my phone, on the second day of the draft usually. It's only rounds 2 and 3 on Friday, right?
Yes.
And then it's 4 through 7. That's how I always thought it was. It's day 1 is round 1, 2, 3 are round 2, day 2, and then 4 through 7 is round day 3.
Yep, that is how.
All right, brother. Good to see you, bro. Thanks, brother. David, of course.
What's up, Big Niner?
Sorry ass man. So long.
Still brings me just joy. I've been sharing some memes on my social today, and one of them was we're talking shit about the Cry Girls and everything. That seems a lot of my Facebook, but there were some ones and everything, and it just makes me feel like as a Niner fan who grew up in the mid 2000s, with Mark Bulger and all Marshall Falk and all them. It feels good just own it. And anytime you can own our oldest division rival, brings a little joy to my soul.
The Rams have not done themselves any help with the fact that they've moved how many times now. So I know we give people shit because there's like 4 Rams fans in the entire world, but at the same time, if your team moved so much, would you not just jump ship at some point? Like, you know what? I'm done with this shit. I'm out.
I mean, if your loyalty to your team, like this is where it gets into me. I was not a Niner fan because I grew up in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
It really was actually a while before I made the connection on San Francisco, Bay Area, growing up. I did pick the Giants because I was like, okay, San Francisco 49ers, San Francisco Giants. Like, I'll admit I did, and I liked Will Clark and Barry Bonds. Sharks, obviously, like my hometown team. Sharks are my favorite animal, hometown team. That's the one. Like, if the Sharks moved, I'd find it very hard to I wouldn't wish them ill. Like, it just wouldn't be the same. Like, it's different. You know what I'm saying? I've been chilling at my brother's house when my brother was still alive, at my stepmom's house, and heard roars from the Shark Tank. We passed it all it's just because of having to take the bus that basically passes the Shark Tank to go pick up my kid. Man, I pass the Shark Tank all the time. I pass Levi's all the time now just because it's so close to the crib. But, so the Sharks are so much ingrained into what it means to be San Ho that, I would find a hard time to believe. And I've always thought it was weird when removing the historical of what the Whackers mean to the NFL and one of the longest teams in NFL and all that shit. I've always thought it was weird that LA, the city, did not have a football team, but Green Bay, Wisconsin did. Growing up, I always just felt that was kind of a little weird to me. And I think that the NFL, we'll see over the course of 20 years, they won a Super Bowl, will they win another one, et cetera, et cetera. But I do believe the NFL will suffer consequences for not having a pro football team. The biggest sport in America wasn't in the third largest market in America, next to New York and the Bay, give or take.
I think it's number 2.
Yeah, probably. I would think LA would be number 2. What's up, John LaJoy? Good to see you, brother. Thank you for stopping by.
What's up, my dude? See, I disagree. I think that with LA, and I think LA is a little bit different from New York because with LA, there's so much other stuff going on.
Yeah,
it doesn't need a football. I truly believe that the team does not need to be in LA. Like why the Rams are there, or not the Rams, but the Chargers.
Yeah.
Yes, that they should have just kept him in San Diego. They've lost all sorts of identity to with them moving to LA. Same thing with the Rams. It's like if you had one team in LA, okay, cool. But putting two teams there, to me, we already struggle with everything else that goes on in LA. To me, it's just dumb to put two teams there. So now you're gonna put two smaller fan bases to begin with. You've probably pissed off, some of both fans, so they've probably jumped ship. Probably some have gone to the Raiders. Probably some people have jumped over to the Niners stuff and everything like that. So I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of Seahawks fans that are obviously older people who are used to be Niner fans. It's just that because they got when Seattle got a team, they jumped up there.
Well,
so,
I
people
mean,
do stuff like that. What's up, Steve?
What's up, Steve-O? What's up, John? Good to see you. Good to see y'all. I mean, Rams moved to St. Louis 5
Excuse me.
won a Super Bowl. That's actually interesting historical context. See the LA Yams, I don't mind as much because that's a historical reference. Everything that the Chargers are just a joke, and I think
the LA Chargers. Yes, I thought the San Diego Chargers.
San Diego Chargers. Hey, look, I know some people from San Diego, bro, that were diehard. I
know
years, but diehard Charger fans.
I know quite a few diehard Chargers. Yeah. Well, a lot of them they're not really Chargers now. Charger fans now. They're kind of just everybody.
Haven't talked to them, but yeah. It's LA. Let's be real. Dodgers and Lakers run LA.
True.
So football is going to have its uphill battle in general, especially since, let's be real, you don't have those. It's not like they were gone 10 years. It's not like they were gone 5 years.
Yeah.
How old are people that really remember the LA Yams? How old? 40s, maybe 50s.
Yeah, they're probably my age.
And
if they had just stuck that there, the LA market would have been just fine.
And what I also think is minus McNiner had said, the 99 Super Bowl, they weren't winning. And so I think that maybe you would have won some LA fans, the people who jumped off ship, who said, hey, fuck the Yams. But it's not like they won 7 championships.
True.
So anyway, but I mean, it's with the Niners. I have actually yet to meet one person, as much people as, and I know my boy Nate, like he said, is one of his main, he wants to run for mayor one day, and one of his main campaigns is going to be, bring the Niners back to Frisco. But even him, and he's probably the most fuck Santa Clara, type of people I know. He still goes to the games. He's the black dude that you see in a lot of those pictures with the Rocky statue. That's him, Mr. Nate Payne. But I've had him on the show before, so I don't really have felt that with Niner fan. But anyway, enough of that. Go ahead and pay some bills and then get into these quarterbacks.
Sounds good.
This segment is brought to you by Shop49ers.com, the official online store of the 49ers. Use our affiliate link in the description to get the latest official Niner gear, save 10%, as well as help out this show. Yeah, so like Jason always says, a lot of our gear you see with us is available at the team store or NinerFaithfulRadio.com/shop. But anyway, make sure if you're going to go buy some Niner gear, use our affiliate link. What's up, Ancy?
How's
Good
it,
to
Auntie?
see you. Good to see you, Ancy. Thank you for watching the show. Actually, we do have an NFL shop.com affiliate link. Maybe I'll start putting that in the description for people who watch the show that aren't Niner fans. We didn't forget about you. And obviously you can go there and buy Niner gear, and it's pretty much all the same shit. It's all ran by Fanatics. So
Yeah, basically.
Michael Pratt is my quarterback. Now, I'm going to admit it's not somebody I did the biggest deep dive on. Jason had to text me like, "Are we doing this shit, bruh?" My bad, cuz it's because I was trying to, catch up on this. 6'3", 217 pounds. PFF has him at an overall 75 passing grade. Intermediate grade is 85. Deep passing grade, 88.5. No pressure grade, he's at an 80.1. And pressure grade, he's at a 57.3. That is ranked out of 165 qualifying quarterbacks. I can't speak today. Adjusted, this is where I think I got a little intrigued. Adjusted completion percentage, 73.9. That's above the college football average of 71.7. Big time throw percentage, he was at a 6.5%. Average for CFB is 4.7%. Turnover worthy throws, he was less than 4%, 3.9. The average there is 4.4. Pressure to sack ratio, he was above the average there at 21.4. The average is 18.1. Had more time to throw at 2.86 seconds. And air yards was well above average at 61.1. And the air yards is 53.2. Look, everything I've seen about him is he's a day 3 pick. And I don't know how you're feeling, Jason. The GA social media says he have a cancel. Takes 3 days. Airbus sucks on the rise. What's the Airbus?
Airbus is a company that builds planes alongside with Boeing.
Oh,
Steve-O was said earlier
okay.
in the chat that his
get it
work
now.
was slow because of Boeing. So
okay, I get it. So okay, people are the chat's going crazy.
the chat's having a completely different conversation.
They're in their own world, as the chat sometimes is. Look, if y'all can see the chat that we see in some comments that we don't put up, man, I'm telling y'all. Anyway, so let's be real, Jason. We're not drafting a quarter. Like when I say we're not drafting a quarterback, we're not replacing Brock. But this is something, a little bit of a project that fourth round might be a little bit of reach, but fifth, definitely sixth. If Mike Pratt's there in the 6th round, Frank Gore Jr. is already gone. He's best player available. I say draft him because I think one of the mistake that cost us 2 championships is not studying Patrick Mahomes. Now let's remove our hat and let's see, does Kyle really even want Patrick Mahomes? That's a whole different conversation. If he dived into the quarterbacks, did he want Patrick Mahomes? Would he want Lamar Jackson?
Well, apparently he didn't even look at him, so I'm going to say
well,
no.
he didn't. He didn't. But I'm saying, would he, even if he looked at him, would he have drafted them? Is I feel a completely different conversation. So if your best available player in the 6th, 7th round is a quarterback, I say take it. Because you know what? Taking the highest rated player we had on our board at 262 didn't seem to turn out too bad for us, did it, bruh? So I think, look, we Bill Walsh towards the end of his career, taking Gino Carmazzi over Tom Brady, like all that. But there was a reason that we traded for Steve Young in Joe Montana's prime. There's a reason that, Elvis Gerback, Jeff Olberg, Elvis Gerback, Steve Bono, all these type of quarterbacks. I remember a game that Elvis Gerback went in and whooped the shit out the Cry Girls in Texas Stadium. So big games in Niner history have been played by backup quarterbacks. And if you could get a backup quarterback that you could develop, that hell, one day might be the starter. You could flip a 6th-round pick for a 3rd-round pick, a 4th-round pick. We all know how we love the comp formula. And he's the best player available. Why not? You could never have too many quarterbacks.
Yeah, I guess.
Right.
I see us taking one later in the draft.
That's what I'm saying. 6th, 7th.
Yeah.
That's why I said 4th and 5th are too rich. I think we could get shit. I think we could get a starting guard in the 5th round.
Possibly.
Or at least a nice, solid type of Daniel Brunskill. What do we say the best attribute Daniel Brunskill had? He was probably the best 6th man in the league.
Yep.
So go ask Spencer Burford or John Feliciano how needing a solid backup right guard is. Might be 3rd and 3. You have a backup right guard. Kind of an important play in Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think having a solid backup right guard there would be who's a passing squad quarterback right now.
Brandon Allen / Joshua Dobbs. They'll battle it out in camp.
Yep. That's pretty much what I'm looking at. Because even and this is the thing when I step back and I look at quarterback is they seem to clearly like Brandon Allen.
Oh yeah,
and if we cut him, he's getting picked up by another team.
Oh, I guarantee it. He will not last long on waivers.
Yeah, no. I don't think Joshua Dobbs, who I'm pretty sure had a little bit of a market, he's not going to come here for just to get cut a couple months later.
He's doing the Sam Darnold route.
Yeah, he's doing exactly what he's doing. He's trying to build up his value and see if he can get a starting job next year.
Yep.
And let's be real, Josh Dobbs as a backup, I'm very intrigued by, and I take Joshua Dobbs over Sam Darnold as our backup. Yeah. So I think
99.9% of every other quarterback in the world who hasn't ever played quarterback above Sam Darnold.
Jason said he'll take 2 Waddles and a Poodle over Sam Darnold.
I will take any. I despise Sam Darnold. And like I said, I don't know the man personally, but just his playing style, no, he's terrible. There's a reason why he's there is quarterbacks who don't even play who are better than him. Just it's facts. How are you the 38th best quarterback in the league when you're a starter? It's like, wait a minute. That means that there's quarterbacks who aren't starters who are better than you.
Yeah, that's rough. So as I've said to you before, my mother-in-law is a Vikings fan, and so I told her I was like, yeah, Jason, what stats do you think Sam puts up this year? We'll get to that later. It's not dead period yet. We don't got to talk about Sam Darnold's stats yet. Talk to us in June, Steve-O. Talk to us like June 12th. What is fuck, bro? What the fuck are we gonna talk about?
Talk to you.
Anyway,
more likely I'll be at the fair.
Yeah, Jason's gonna be doing his thing. So come holler at me in June, bro. So I told her, you're dumping on Sam Darnold and everything like that. I said, Jason says he'll pray for you, and she goes, "Thanks. We need all the prayers we can get." But
prayers won't help Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
Jason said sacrifices. I don't care what deity you speak to; it ain't helping.
Yeah, he said not even Jesus can save Sam Darnold. All right, bro. We'll go ahead and we'll do our last ad read. Jason will go over his quarterbacks. We'll have a small discussion, and then we'll get up out of here. Today, this segment is brought to you by SeatGiant.com. Use the promo code NinerFaithfulRadio at SeatGiant.com to save on all your theater, concert, and sporting event tickets, as well as help out this show. Yeah, so we'd like to thank Seat Giant. Actually, your boy I actually almost used the promo code the other day. We're trying to get some earthquake tickets. Went ahead and went through SeatGiant.com, saved me some percentage, and will help out the show. We'd appreciate it if you did the same. Jason, take it away.
It's kind of like double dipping, isn't it? All right, where's my thing? All right, so this guy that I put up here is going to be a lot of people have actually looked at him already. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I really haven't looked at anybody because I don't see us picking up anybody until there's a good chance we don't draft a quarterback at all. We just pick up somebody as an undrafted, which I think honestly a lot of these guys are going to is where we're going to get a quarterback at. But for all the people who, and there's quite a bit of this fan base who still want Kaepernick on this team, this is probably the closest thing to a cloned Kaepernick that you can get. He's 6'5", 235 pounds. He's got a rocket arm. This man can throw the ball a country mile and a half.
70-yard throw at the combine.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's just, again, throwing the ball with power, great. Put a little touch on it, He's just, it's when you watch his highlights, if you can just imagine, Cap in there, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Doesn't have that burst of speed at first because, again, he's 6'5". He's got those long legs. But once he gets in the open and he can get his stride opened up, he's gone. There's just no catching. Again, just like with Cap, really good in those RPO. That's where his bread and butter is. They're taking those handoffs up the middle, or then cutting them outside to make those long plays. So yeah, doesn't have the greatest reads when he's going through his progressions. Again, it just feels like we're talking about Kaepernick here. What did Kaepernick do all the time? He stared down his first receiver that he was going to. Joe Milton does the same thing. So it's probably somebody who we're going to stash. So, we sign him. Next year we cut Joshua Dobbs. And then the year after that, maybe we finally decide that, Brandon Allen, your contract's up. Now it's time to promote Joe Milton to the actual to the number two spot. So then we have like Brock Purdy and Joe Milton. So he is definitely a long-term project. But like I said, for those of you guys who just want Kaepernick on the team no matter what, I hear you. That's a whole different conversation. But this is basically going to be the clone of him and the closest we're ever going to get to an actual Kaepernick on this team.
Yeah, Joe Milton was one of the ones I looked at. And maybe I had a little bit of bias because he plays for Tennessee and I'm a Gators fan. But if he was undrafted, if he was an undrafted free agent and Mike Pratt got drafted, let's say 7th round, before we could draft him or whatever, I'd be intrigued just because it's not taking the draft capital. It's not, what's it going to take? A minimum rookie minimum deal, 2-year rookie minimum deal. And I think having quarterbacks, the one thing I would hope the Niners are starting and our philosophy starting to transition to is always having an eye to the future as much as possible. You can't stash everybody, but like you said, with the running backs and maybe a higher tier running back, there was a running back, I forget his name, but Larry was talking about, which was saying, hey, I think he's going to be a star, and we all hate to say it, but CMC ain't going to play forever, and so running backs a little different because let's be real, we can get production out of running backs, not CMC level, but Kyle's proven over his tenure we can get production out of running backs. We know how to draft, we know how to develop, which is one of the reasons why it's maddening every time we draft a running back in the 3rd round, because it's like, dude, we could get one in the 6th, bro. Like, calm down. And
probably the 3rd.
And the most maddening thing about it is the later round or undrafted one always ends up being better than the one we drafted. That's the maddening part about it.
Yeah.
But real quick, Corum, there you go. There you go. That's who Larry was talking about. That's going to be a star. Jason, I was thinking about this, and I was watching Bucky Brooks. I think it was Bucky Brooks do a thing about the quarterbacks today, and he was talking about how only two quarterbacks that were taken in 2021 and 2022 remain with their teams that drafted them, and that's literally first pick and the last pick from 2022, or first pick from 21 and the last pick from 22. I've always said, people have asked me, do I think that the fact of less moms are wanting their kids to play football, and everything like that, is that going to contribute to the downplay of the NFL? I've always said what I think will happen, and maybe what will lead to the downfall, is players like, I'm not talking about the caliber of player he is, but okay, perfect example, Tom Brady. Tom Brady's a rich boy. He's from Atherton. Atherton's got money. People in Atherton. Tom Brady's a rich boy. Tom Brady didn't have to play football. Tom Brady wasn't the kid in the hood that looked at football. Tom Brady could have sold insurance, worked in tech, from the Bay Area. Like, Tom Brady would have been perfectly fine going to be whatever he was going to be, was an NFL quarterback. Players like that, I think, will cycle out of the league. And do we need to turn college football into a minor league system? And the reason I bring this up, the reason I bring this up is because you're not going to have a system beyond college, right? Because let's be real, players only got so many hits. You're not going to draft somebody, send them down to the minors for 4 years, and they got a year left in the tank. So that's not going to happen. But college football, I think a lot, specifically with quarterbacks, is you win with your system. You win with your only if you make college longer. Maybe you don't get out until 24 or something. Because the way I look at it is, players in college aren't necessarily developing to go to the pros. They're developing to do what wins in college. And that's why I think you struggle with these quarterbacks, because a lot of these quarterbacks don't play in pro systems. So what do you got?
They play easy systems.
They're getting their calls from the sideline. Even Michael Pratt, they said he's pretty much a one read and go quarterback. Why? Well, that's what he's asked to do in college. Because he could get away with that. He was not being developed with the idea of, hey, you got drafted by the Niners. We need to develop you into the future backup or starter for the Niners. He was drafted as, hey, you're Mike Pratt. You're a quarterback from Tulane. We're trying to win as many games as possible these 4 years. Yeah. And I think that Joe Milton, the thing about Cap, the one thing I said about Cap, and I think that if you would have had a developmental league, you would have seen with if I was a senior and my coach said you could play for 2 more years and get paid and take classes, I would be psyched. College. Yeah. I mean, maybe
you can now. It's called the NIL.
Yeah, NIL. I mean, these are the things that as as NIL, things like this, college players getting paid becomes more of the norm. What if it just goes to, let's say, the Niners have, facility USC, right? That's just our minor league facility, minor league team, right? All the USC coaches are all hired by the Niners, brought up through the system and everything. The players are scouted with the eye of what we want in our system. Would that be beneficial to college? Probably not. But would that really develop? And would you have a higher hit rate on drafting because you've seen players in with NFL coaches and in NFL systems. And B, let's see, I like the 7-4 range.
Context, Kenny.
Yeah,
Context.
context is very important here, bro. Can you just watch some freshman notes again? Oh, I like it with that 17 to 4-15.
Like I said, context there, buddy.
Hey, you know what, Kenny? I'm just going to tell you this, bro. 17 and a half will get you 15, bro.
What was it?
Hey, no, X-Rated has a song. He said, hey, I would have been back there if she wasn't a little girl, but in a few weeks, that little girl turns 18 and the number 1 draft pick on my hoop team. Anyway, I'm that gangster you answer to.
Matthew McConaughey? You know what I like about high school girls? The older I get, they stay the same age.
Same age. All right. Anyway, God.
It's got to be like the creepiest line ever in a movie. It's like, whoa, dude.
So, no, creepiest shit that I've ever seen. So, we were fucking with this chick that we used to hang out with, right? And she was smoking hot. Everybody wanted her, right? And one of the older homies would always flirt with her, right? She was 18. Calm down. So one of the older homies would always flirt with her and everything like that. And one time he said, like he was poking her boob or something like that. And she was like, help, I need an adult. And he put her hand on her shoulder and goes, I am one. Like that. I was like, oh my God. Oh, that's so wrong. Oh, it's cool. I got a D, so dazed and confused. Anyway, so I don't know. I'm just trying to. It's very frustrating because I feel like the NFL has the worst development situation of all sports. Like soccer,
you're implying that they have a development in place. They don't. You see very few offenses in college, and even all the way down to like high school, that run pro style offenses. And then a lot of those pro style offenses, when you get to college, they switch them up and he plays that, that spread offense. That it's. I think eventually, for the NFL to continue, the NFL has to change into what college is doing. You're going to have to run those college offenses, those college defenses, because you're not going to get college to change how they are. So I don't see that ever happening. As far as other stuff with, like the NFL falling, I think it's going to be the NFL is going to over police itself. Kind of like with all the stuff where, the hip tackle. You've all but outlawed pretty much all form of tackling for the most part. How much further before we're just playing two-hand touch or flag football? Now, I know, yes, you can hit, but how many times have we actually seen last year we saw legitimate hits that, they didn't lean with their helmet, they went chest in and all that kind of stuff, and they were still throwing flags. So they're over-policing themselves. They're putting the games in the hands of refs, who, by the way, are not full-time employees. Problem number one. That's the first problem right there.
That's the show in itself, bro. On
officiating. So how do you got people who are part-time employees, you're asking refs to make a lot of this stuff split-second judgment calls.
That billions of the dollars are on the line for these calls, by the way, with betting and all those kind of things.
That's the kind of stuff I think the NFL is going to do that's going to be the ruin of the NFL. It's not going to be the other stuff, where we don't have a minor league system, we can't develop players. All that does is forces changes. The game will change in itself. Like I said, I see a lot more offenses that will be changing to what they're doing in college just because it's easier to do that. It's easier to just change your system to match theirs than it is to hire and build up players who don't know how to, go through progressions all the way. But yeah, the NFL, it'll kill itself with that.
And I think also what it needs to be is more connections, like beyond. Let's just take the minor league system out of the way for a second, and have, like, for example, I know in England, I've been trying to get into English Premier Soccer,
It's good stuff.
and I know in England they have, like, they're taught how to play football, a general way from the time they're like in grade school, bruh.
The rules don't change that much.
The rules don't, and I think that's the thing about it is that, you know when you get to the level of anybody that's a prospect and has the opportunity to be drafted in this draft, you've been for the most part, you've been playing football longer than, not longer than we've been alive at this point, but, like, you've been playing football for 20, sometimes 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, and so if you have the ability, like you said, to take out the hip drop tackle, and you've been taught that since you were in Pop Warner, then it would be less of an adjustment. I've never understood the 1 foot in college, 2 feet in the NFL.
Yep.
I've never understood that.
Go with one or the other.
One or the other. I've never understood. Now, I want to make this clear. High school, a little different because you're dealing with some 14-year-old, you're dealing with niggas who balls haven't dropped, but when you're in college, I've never understood why the footballs are different. It almost feels like the NFL, like college is almost setting these kids up to fail in the NFL. Different rules, different fields, different ball size. Pause.
I don't think they're setting them up to fail. They're setting themselves up to succeed in college. They don't give a damn. College football does not look at itself as a pipeline to the NFL. They want to make their money by winning in college. They've got a very narrow window, usually 2 to 3 years with each player, to win them. So you make it about as simple as it can be.
And which is bullshit, because damn well there are schools in the NFL, Alabama, that pump up. I'm talking to people who've been on recruiting trips, and they tell you that's pretty much a lot of the shit that they spend telling you, beyond the facility, whatever, is how they can get you to the league. Hey, I got connections to this team. I got connections to that team. So-and-so from this team was just down here scouting our players last week.
Yeah.
We promised that we wouldn't take too much of people's time. Plus, in high school, you don't want to stop the play of high school. Highlights are awesome. They mostly let the kids play. Cool. Then let them play in the league. Let them, have the standard the same. I think you'll get a lot better football. And
one thing you can come up with, like the size of the ball. People grow. Yeah. So, you can't expect a full-grown man and someone who's, a 14, 15-year-old. Obviously, that's why I said it's not going to be fully grown. So, stuff like that, you're never going to get changed. You just have to.
But college,
I think they should go to the college ball because they can huck that ball freaking long farther.
Cool. Look, pros adjusting to college adjusting to pros. I don't give a shit. Really, the way it looks like is that college has more offense, and let's be real, the league wants it to be a more offensive league anyway.
Yeah. Change it to college rules and make the field like the CFL. I would absolutely love to see the NFL adopt the CFL football league. Wider, it's longer. You get some of these guys, especially with the movement, they have less restrictions on pre-snap movements and stuff like that. Again, I would love to see the NFL go to CFL style rules.
For real, that would be dope. All right, well, I guess we'll get up out of here. Friday show, I'm excited because with the D tackles, edge, guards and tackles coming up, this is when we're gonna get in the chunk of we're gonna get to look at some big boys, the big beautifuls, and getting to where we hope the Niners are spending a lot of their draft capital. I'd be shit. Honestly, if we took 2 tackles and 2 guards, I wouldn't be mad.
I think that's what everybody wants for us to take. Is look, if we take anything else besides those 2 positions, maybe a cornerback, everybody's gonna be mad.
Safety too. Safety too, because I don't know. I love him. I wouldn't be. Yeah, Huff's gonna be fine. Pro Bowl level. I wouldn't just. I would insulate myself. And the thing is, you have to pay people.
Yeah.
And if somebody's willing to pay Huff 10, 12, 13, 14 million dollars a year, can't pay everybody, Jason. Cool, we want to play Huff. Well, then that probably means, bye-bye to Trent Williams. Bye-bye to Aaron Banks.
Yeah.
These are the decisions we're gonna have to make going forward. So, anyway, all right, brother. We'll see you Friday.
Friday, we start talking about some D tackles and the big boys.
Yay! Love it. Can't wait. All right, bro. We'll see you Friday.
Papatai to the lover. One love, chat.
Yay! All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Thanks everybody in the chat. Thank you to all of y'all who will watch the video as a replay. Please make sure if you're watching on YouTube to hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help the channel grow. We shall see y'all Friday, 6 p.m. here on the West Coast. Till then, faith, love, and nappiness. Go Niners.
Rice has just set a Super Bowl record with 12 catches. He's in motion. Montana. Touchdown, John Taylor.
You're tuned into Niner Faithful Radio. It's your host, One Faithful, 5 Faiths, brought to you by Power Brands.
See ya.